Bad.
It
Look at it's kind of blurry.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, is it begun?
Well, we gotta think of our topic.
The concept of infinity. Wait.
I think we should save that for space and time.
Yeah. So.
Anarchy.
Yeah, actually, Anarchy. I want to hear the rest of your Luke thing, like your whole plan with, going to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And then
All
going
right.
back to.
All right. Let's start this.
Let's do that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Highly Intelligent. I'm your host, Shablambo.
I'm Calum. Hi. I'm eating chicken at the moment.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
And today we're talking about our Anarchy plans.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our new podcast where we discuss various topics and get really into depth with these things.
Mm-hmm.
And we have guests on and they talk with us. Mm-hmm. Right now it's just him and I. We're doing this for the first time.
It's
so
officially the first episode.
This is our first episode.
We're starting out brain clean. Might go somewhere, might fail somewhere, might just have a good ass time. We don't know, but we're gonna record our thoughts.
Yeah. And we're gonna talk about random things. Like you can see this season, our episode on space and time, our concept of infinity, how to build a utopian society. We're gonna have a lot of these things. And today we're going to talk about our plans for Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
we would like to discuss at this moment how you could build something out of anarchy.
Yes.
And actually make something
that
could go somewhere.
Let me start by asking, are you, Calum, a supporter of anarchy?
Is this question gonna come back in 30 years and get me executed?
No, it's not.
Okay, well, I'm an anarchist and I want the government to collapse.
Me too, man.
No. I think it's okay, but it can use some work. There's some things about it that aren't so great at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is why I want the whole thing to fall apart and just complete anarchy to be a thing. Because people dying is fun.
Yeah.
No.
So what I want to do is take over. I'm not gonna call it takeover. I'm gonna go to the elementary school, and if there are people in there, I'm gonna take it. And anarchy, it can be an apocalypse too. Right now, our plan, this plan is focusing on if the government's collapsed of the world, and it was up to the citizens to survive.
Thought run through.
Yes.
Let's think about what kind of disease would affect people the most and talk about that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
let's talk about the aspects of it and the things that try to find the disaster that makes it the most difficult for people.
yes.
And then imagine how people would react, how the world would.
Okay.
How we would react to that kind of thing being a problem.
So let's start off by saying all the world governments have collapsed due to
a strain of...
How about it's not a disease that doesn't wipe out everyone? There's still people and stuff, but
some big disaster.
Due to...
an attack or...
Yeah, an attack. Alright, let's go to Area 51. Remember that meme? Let's say people brought aliens in, and the aliens wanted rights. So they overthrew the world's governments.
Okay.
So that they would be equal to everyone.
That means the aliens live on Earth now. And
Yeah,
probably,
they live on Earth with us.
Of them.
So, I would call everyone I know and tell them to meet at one spot, the Manhattan Elementary School. And I'd make sure that everyone met there, and I make sure it's safe. And in order to do that, we gotta get some weapons, and we gotta full send, go to Home Depot and stuff.
Right.
And once we do that, we got all the people there. We set up outposts, in like different locations that report back to the elementary school every day. And it's got walls and stuff, well, fences, which are pretty strong to keep those little kids in.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it'd be pretty good. And I could get more people, and we'd all live together, and if anyone tried to stand up against me, I'd kill them.
You'd hire some muscle, you'd hire Luke.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I am going to be a dictator, but one people like.
This went off the rails so fast.
I will be a dictator, but people will like me. They're gonna like my ways.
Right.
And if they don't,
no,
death.
Not death. They just...
punishment.
They vanish mysteriously.
They get punished.
It's not that bad.
And they will be punished publicly out in the middle of the field outside the elementary school. We'll have like a public execution set up there.
But no, like nobody dies. Everybody just like gets whipped really bad.
And like our enemies that try to attack us,
Good
we will tie them all up. We will only kill them if we have to. Bring them out to the field and kill their leader in a public execution. So let's say like...
This sounds like a certain show that I've seen.
An alien leader tries to attack us. Mm-hmm. So we kidnap all the people that he sends to attack, and then we kidnap him and execute him in front of all of his men.
Right. That would be very demoralizing.
Yes. And then we'd give them a choice. They can be one of us, or they die.
That's good.
Yeah, so what show does this remind you of? He's eating pizza right now.
I am eating pizza at the moment. It got in the way of me replying. Not gonna lie, kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead. Don't know if that's what you were going for, but there are some similarities that are kind of...
Yeah, a little. I was obsessed with The Walking Dead when I was little. Like, I watched every episode every week. I still do. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty good show.
I used to love The Walking Dead as a kid.
Yeah.
So the first 5 seasons, like, I watched, like, religiously when I was in, like, 6th grade. Which is pretty young to see that.
There are 5 more seasons now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
You, what's your plan? If aliens come down and overthrow the world's governments?
Become an alien rights activist the minute that they drop. You know? Because, like, they're probably not going to have rights before. Like, I'm guessing that a lot of aliens, like, won't even want to, like, fight until, like, they're released. Mm-hmm. And then they start, like, wanting rights and they get denied.
Yeah.
So then, like, the aliens are like, dude, what the fuck? And, like, it kind of escalates. So I think being, like, the kind of person who, like, supports that kind of thing and, like, tells the government to stop doing that, you know, you've got friends in good places.
So if I were to find you, you'd be a human leading a group of aliens. Maybe. In this anarchy.
I think so.
I would be a human leading humans. And aliens.
We might get into conflict. Oh, humans and aliens.
If they choose to stay with me after I execute their leader in front of them.
But you would have them work, and it would probably have to be a boot camp, because the aliens would still be, like, rebellious.
Yes.
At some point. Like, even though you kill their leader, they'd still, like, get angry about it and, like, start fighting.
I'd use the aliens as my fighters. Mm-hmm. I'd store them out in a barracks and tell them to fight with me or die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And...
So they'd want freedom if they ever, like... met our guys.
Yeah, and I would promise them that they get to let go or be gone if they were loyal and dedicated to us and fighting for us.
But if they weren't loyal or dedicated, as in like they switched sides to mine.
Yeah, like if they tried to attack us, we'd kill them. And if they were loyal, we'd send them on their way.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah.
A whole system of like humans and like bugs like mixing and like talking like that would become like the norm.
Yeah. What are your plans? Like, would let's say you've made it this far. The aliens have overthrown the world's governments, even though you tried to help them.
Right.
And a group of aliens chooses you to lead them. What do you do to keep them safe? Where do you go? And it's all happening like right here, where we are right now.
Right here? Okay, let me think.
So like aliens were here and you were helping them fight for their rights here.
Oh, like on this hill.
Yeah. Well, like in this town.
I'm in this town, okay.
Yeah, like in this area. Like you were fighting for their rights in real life.
Damn, alright, let me think about this. Okay, the cellar in my house would be a fantastic place because there's like human construction going on over there.
Yeah.
But, like, everybody who was doing construction is probably dead or like gone. Which means like that there's a bunch of abandoned equipment there. And like, it's not a finished house, so like nobody would think to go in it because like it's not complete. But like there'd be a cellar underneath, and like you could like have like a whole, fort and like living space, and then like we'd have like stuff like popping up into the sheds in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that would be like our camp.
Yeah.
And then probably have to like head to Surefine to get supplies.
But it could be taken over by people that wanted the food for themselves.
It could be. In that case, we try to like organize some sort of like raid, if there were few enough people that it would be worth the risk.
Mm. Let's say there's a lot of people. Would you even go for it?
Nah, I think we'd avoid it unless we had like a lot of people.
Yeah.
We definitely like head to like really country, like way out there kinds of stores.
Yeah.
And like raid those because people probably haven't like visited them yet because like they're not in that area. Like there's basically nobody there.
Yeah.
So like go to like gas stations by like closed camping areas. Yeah. Go to places like that. And then we'll set up camp in those camping areas and like have like a whole system of like, all right, if someone's like coming up towards us to attack us, like we hide in a spot and we make it look completely abandoned. Or we actually set up like walls and defenses and stuff. And like we just watch for people. And then like every month or like every week, like we'll trade with each other just to make sure like, we're doing okay. And like that would be our whole system of like government and trading.
Yeah. And if you were to lead your people, like they were leading you, how would you lead them? Like, would you lead them as a dictatorship or like a democracy where they vote?
I'd lead them sternly. Like there'd be a lot of shit that like just wouldn't slide. Like it would be a very like strict society.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think voting is a really good way to do things. Mm-hmm. And I think if someone is like super stern and like keeps like the country motivated and like working hard and like inspired, that's good. But a lot of people who have done that in the past have like been kings.
Yeah.
But they treated them like shit. And it's like those two things just wouldn't balance out. But I think if like there was a dictator who had like all of that stuff under control and then also gave people like rights.
Yeah.
And education through them like telling him to like asking him to do things.
Yeah.
And like him having to do it if like everyone said it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And that's kind of the whole idea of like America, Like that's what makes it freer than other states at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is wow, hey, push connections, look at me go. But yeah, I think like that's like the perfect combination for it to like actually work.
Yeah.
And then like, because like people would do what you said because they'd be like, oh, let's not do this shit. And like you'd have to like explain like, there are certain rules that I just need to have in place in case like.
And you'd have to give
stupid.
like a good reason to keep them.
Yeah, and people would respect that.
Yeah.
And so they'd be more willing to like, fight.
But what if there was like that one guy that didn't respect it? And he was just like, hey, I'm not going to follow your rules. Well, what would you do to punish him? Or would you even punish him if he thought they were unethical?
He would get a warning.
A warning?
One warning. To be like, okay, just, we understand that, but like, we need you to like do the right thing and like be a normal human being. Don't hurt people. Don't be like an asshole. Okay? And at least act like you're doing the rules, you know? Like, if
Yeah.
you're doing something, like, that's gonna hurt people, we are gonna have to, like, keep tabs on you and watch you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But, like, just... You don't have to, like, do, like... I don't even know. Like, it would depend on the rules. But, like, if it was rules, like, ones that are in place today about, like, you know...
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd think it'd be okay. Like, if it wasn't a super big deal.
Yeah.
But we just say, you know, we're watching.
So, if someone were to act out against the rules, what would you do to them? Would you, like, have...
So, like, they get a warning. Right. But, like, you're saying after that happens.
Like, after the warning, how would you punish them?
They have to leave in 1 month. And then we'll have, like, people monitoring them. And, like, if they act really, like, kind... Or, like, you know, they think, like, more mindfully about how they're doing things. After that, then they get the chance to, like, come back in. So, like, there will be, like, a trial on, like, the last day, like, that they have to leave. Because, like, they're not following the rules, like, they get kicked out. And then they go to that, and then, like, a bunch of, like, judges and people, like, that were kind of, like, keeping tabs on them, like, they decide whether or not the person was, like...
What if you set up, like...
all of that.
You went to a building and set up, like, a camp, or, well, like, a place you send them, like a prison, but it's, like, a fenced-in, a bunch of land that you just put all your prisoners in, like the British did with Australia.
It makes sense, but... Oh!
Yeah, like, they'd have to survive there on their own, and they couldn't leave. Like, they had to stay in that area, and it was up to them to use the natural resources there to survive.
Yeah.
And then that way you could keep tabs on them, and if they were doing good in this society, then,
Yeah.
you know?
You'd have to, like, keep the borders kind of, like, unnoticed.
Yeah.
To make sure, like, that they didn't, like, rebel, though. So, like, you'd have to make it, like... You would have to make it too dangerous for people to, like, leave it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, there'd, like, be some obstacle in the way. Like, mountains or something. And, like, if someone ever climbed the mountains, you'd, like, have some, like, show, like, that you would show them and, like, make them think that, like, there was crazy shit up there. And, like, they'd run back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. For whatever reason, like, they just get used to it. Dude, you'd make, like, a whole society based around, like, mountains and, like, mountain gods and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'd, like, realize that it was just, you know...
A prison or something.
I'm saying, like, the children that they might have that would, like, live there.
And the
after,
children...
like, a certain amount of time.
Would you, like, pull the children and put them in your society, or would you leave them in there?
I think you would leave them in there for, like, a generation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, generation later, you, like, start sending people back in to be like, so, what's it like? You guys realize why we have to follow rules? And then, like, the people who are living together will have already had to have rules. Because otherwise, like, they wouldn't be alive. Right? Like, everybody would be dead.
Like, have you ever seen Death Race?
Death Race. Oh, yeah! Like, you think it would be that kind of society?
Yeah. Like,
Maybe.
if they
so
knew...
We're giving them cars, then.
Yeah, if they knew they were prisoners, and, like, it was up to them to survive, and, like, I think it'd turn into Death Race. And then, like, when a society develops, we could give them, like, money and stuff, and tell them, this is what you spend in this society. And, like, killing, it's frowned upon in there, but, like, no one does anything about it. Like, something like that.
Right.
Like, if you just kill a man for his stuff because you're out, no one's gonna, like, care.
Right. So once you're out of prison.
Yeah. But maybe if you're good, they'll remove you from the prison.
So you're saying, like, we're just thinking about, like, in the event they escape.
Yeah.
I guess we'd have to, like, train people to deal with them.
We could...
Like, if that was really the only thing to do, just, like, okay, we're gonna teach you, like, how to be safe if someone, like, gets out and tries to...
We'd have to, like, develop, like, a really good barrier around a certain amount of land.
Oh, well, yeah. No, we'd build like, we wouldn't make it obvious, like, walls or something.
Mm-hmm.
we'd make it like mountains and like natural things. Like we'd try to like change the land.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we couldn't, then like we'd use like super high stone walls or something. And like you'd have to like climb them to get up, but like anybody who tried to climb all the way up to the top would be like pushed back by something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like literally they just couldn't leave at all.
Like, we built a wall up, and then there was like a staircase that went out, and then it ended at the top of the wall.
Yeah.
So
and
that
like,
they
it was, like,
couldn't
super
climb up that staircase.
Yeah. And we put soil. Hold on, we'll get like little containers. Let's just say, are we talking about a utopia at this point? I think we are.
Yeah, I think this is utopian society.
Yeah. Okay, so we're moving on to that. So in this event, I'm just gonna say like we're working with like infinite resources, right?
Yeah.
Like just we're talking about like how it could work.
Well, we're gonna, it's been 20 minutes, so we can stop here, and next episode we'll discuss a utopian society.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so thank you for tuning in to Highly Intelligent. This was our first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. We've worked pretty hard on it.
I think a lot of it was Jared talking, but some of it was me talking.
Yeah.
But you know, we've got some good ideas flowing right now.
Yeah. We've got a lot right now.
Yeah. We had pizza, we had wings, we had. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's have a post episode thing where every episode we'll like talk about like something that we found today that was like really confusing to us.
Yes.
And then like by the end of the day, like we'll talk about like our conclusions about it.
Yes.
So like random old stuff that we find, or just like things that we're excited about.
Today's unusual object is a little table with 5 vials in it.
Mm-hmm. We're calling it the vodka tray.
Yes, it looks like a tray of vodka, but you can't take the bottles out of the table. They're like pinned down with like a metal sheet. And there was
each cap is a different color.
The table had a handle, and on the handle was a key, and then like in the middle of the table there was a heart, and we found that the key unlocked the heart because there was like a lock, and the vials open, and it's just like a nice little table decoration, I guess.
Mm-hmm. We don't know what's in the jars. We're not gonna try them, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that's like suicide. Unless it's alcohol, in which case it is very well-aged alcohol. But we're not going to drink any because, I'm going to be honest,
Are they even filled?
No.
Oh, they're empty.
Dang. They look like they had stuff in them.
Yeah. Wow.
I think it's like the density of the liquid, or of the glass.
Yeah.
We could fill this stuff with like, whatever.
Yeah.
Little vials, like full of Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Or whiskey. Or freaking Pepsi.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in to Highly Intelligent.
Yeah.
We've
certainly enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, we've enjoyed ourselves. This was a good episode. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Peace out.
Peace.